know it's this. It's like a perk in the talk of this shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion new single, my hater up, be better put on the road, I just spit. I know we got $1 million, the devil, that shit ain't not cheaper than
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the first part of What If Naruto Enters Teen Titans Verse. Special note, this fanfic is written in the masterpiece of Godospartan, the Kitsune on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. A man was running down the crowded streets, huffing as he tried to run from whatever it was that was making him run. He was wearing a jacket that had red flames and a golden sheen, a big scroll on his back. The man turned into an alley and panted, looking back at the street. His whisker marks on his cheeks wet from sweat, his piercing blue eyes looking dangerously, his unruly golden locks dampened from whatever lake he seemed to have jumped in. He was Naruto Uzumaki, and he was in a city, not a village, and it was metal, not wood or brick. It had dozens of weird clothed people and so many lights despite the dark skies, unlike the lowly lighted nights with the shinobi of his own village. He sighed heavily, sitting down and thinking. All right, situation? Unknown. Whereabouts? Unknown. What the hell happened back there? He was referring to his battle with several of his friends at the Valley of the End. Truth be told, all he did was go all out, using not only his ever-abundant chakra, but also the natural chakra of the valley, and even Kyuubi's chakra form. He used both Sennin mode and Kyuubi mode fully, all 9 tails. The fox, although now free of his cage, and happy, was pissed the fuck off at what happened. Kit, you had to be a moron, didn't you? Natural chakra and energy cannot combine with me and my demonic aura and infinite yokai energy. Doing so, even I knew the results were tearing at the fabric of space and time. Naruto growled in his mind. Well, maybe if you had warned me beforehand. It's not like I knew this was going to fucking happen. Nor did I know that your energy wasn't natural on the human plane. Could have fooled me. Kyuubi had to admit it was true. He didn't give the kid squat when it came to something never done before, even if he knew it might have results that could tear open a dimensional portal. He did know one thing. Dimensional portals like that only appear when the power source was so strong in that realm it was not supposed to be there, and zoomed him to a dimension able to contain such power. Kyuubi sighed, calming down. All right, Kit, listen up. I know dimensional portals. Usually when one appears on a person, it's to send them to a void dimension, something to entrap them for not supposed to being there in the first place. We got trapped in another realm altogether. It's not a void, but another human plane. Get my drift? Naruto nodded, pulling the scroll from his back and taking on his jacket. I think so. If a power source like God's own power made real from heaven accidentally manifested and caused something destiny didn't like, it would be sent to a place where it could no longer do damage, or a place to torture them for their crimes, like a prison that is their worst nightmare. We are lucky that didn't happen to us, and are in another place, somewhere that either needs me to be who I am, or needs my powers. Kyuubi smiled, his fox grin spreading. Exactly, this world either has too many good and evil forces, and needs balance with your line on neutrality, or more than likely, this plane has weak power, and we were sent because it was the only one that could contain your vast amount of power. Naruto nodded, taking off his headband and underjacket, leaving him in his pants, white shirt, and sandals. He got a scroll from his pouch and sealed them all in a seal each, in the ones they were named, clothes, and scrolls. He sighed and unrolled it a little more, seeing the red cloud seals. He smiled, thinking he could go undercover in that. No one, not even Konoha, knew what he had done. He unsealed everything. One seal opened to reveal 10 rings, which he slid on each finger accordingly as they were on the original Akatsuki members. He grabbed the red cloak, flinging it on, zipping it up before grabbing a head mask, wrapping it on his head to cover up his hair so no one could identify him by looks alone, and then grabbed an orange swirl mask. He smiled. You asshole. I guess I have to dress up like you to survive. Who knew the irony? He put it on and covered his face before rolling up the sealing scroll, putting it in his sleeve. Alright, no one will be able to figure out who I am, no matter what I do. Sadly, his moments of peace were stopped, as he turned at a boy yelling at him. He was green from head to toe, wearing a purple jumpsuit with black limbs for the sleeves and legs. He had fangs and pointy ears. Naruto looked at him through the hole in the mask. And you might be? The green boy grinned, pointing a thumb at himself. Your worst nightmare, criminal. Naruto looked dull at him a second before smiling behind his mask. He shrugged, shaking his head. I got no clue what you're talking about. All I am doing making sure no one recognizes me. The boy nodded, getting into fighting stance. Exactly, just like a thief. So just give up. I know you're kind, just give up. There's no way you can win. Naruto looked a little curious as to why the kid was being so serious about this and sighed, turning, his body standing straight but his hands at his sides, hidden in the sleeves. What are you supposed to be then? Police? Hero? What? The boy grinned. I'm a hero, the name is Beast Boy, and you are going down. The boy slumped to all fours before suddenly growing in size, his clothes vanishing as if phasing into his body as he turned into a rhino. Naruto looked surprised. Okay, that's something I didn't expect. The rhino sounded out before charging down the alley at him. Naruto cursed, jumping into the air with chakra-enhanced legs and making it to the top easy, landing on the roof. Damn, these buildings are high. Never had anything higher than the Hawkage Mountain before. He looked down and seen the boy change back. He sighed, but then looked once again shocked as the boy turned into a big bird he knew from history books, a pterodactyl, a winged bird dino. It flew up and almost hit him as it did. Naruto growled as it zipped into the air and then down at him, dive bombing. He didn't want to, but he had no choice. He ran, fast, jumping from building to building as he tried to outrun the thing. When it reached him, he sidestepped and jumped back, letting it pass. He sighed when the boy landed and turned back. He stood straight again. What are you? How the hell can you change into different animals? Beast Boy grinned. Duh, I'm Beast Boy. Naruto grumbled before looking at the boy. Never heard of you, but I do know this. Why the hell are you attacking me? The boy scowled. Come on, that's easy. You're a criminal, and I put criminals like you behind bars. Just as Naruto was about to retort, he seen a flash of light and looked as a green ball of energy flew at him. He cursed, jumping back and dodging it. Okay, what was that? He seen a girl, dressed in a tube top and a skirt, with boots and gloves, all of which were purple. I do not wish to do you the harm. Please won't you come peacefully? Naruto looked blankly before shaking his head. Ugh, major headache. What kind of jutsu are you two using? Really, those jutsu look real useful. The girl and boy looked at each other before back at him. Beast Boy was confused. What jutsu? We were born with the ability to do this. What the hell is jutsu? Naruto looked blankly again. Before he seen three more come up. One looked weird with metal and stuff on him. Another boy that looked like he was a clown with green pants, red shirt, and he even had a cape and mask. Lastly, a girl came through the flow portal in the floor. Naruto looked at them shocked. He was about to go rant, but then the masked boy looked sternly. Like Starfire said, give up peacefully. Naruto shook his head to clear it, grabbing his head. Ugh, if it wasn't enough these two came, I have even more weirdos. Seriously, how did you come through the Kami-forsaken floor? The blue girl said in a lowly voice, emotionless. You don't need to know. Naruto groaned, looking into the sky. Seriously, why me? Kami, do you hate me this much? Everyone looked at him and he sighed. He was just about to speak again when the man in metal raised a hand and made it transform. The light shone from in the hole in the arm now and then it blasted. Naruto gasped before jumping into the air, dodging it. He used his chakra and attached it to the air particles and was standing on the very air. Seriously, can I not get a effing word in? Starfire, as she was named, flew up fast and threw a barrage of the green balls at him. He cursed and dodged left and right, jumping on the air itself to escape them. As he was dodging, though, he failed to see Beast Boy fly up, and in his talons as the winged dino, the metal man was firing on him. He roared and dodged double time to not be hit by any of it. He was sure fighting them would just make things worse, but the hell he was gonna let them hurt him. The girl in blue was behind him, and he looked at what she was going to do. As black energy covered her hands, she chanted something unknown to him, and suddenly wires and poles from the rooftops came to life and tried to catch him. He groaned out as he was captured, having to dodge balls of green energy, beams of light, and sentient objects. He chose to be captured rather than hurt. He was brought down and Robin came up to him. "What did you steal?" Naruto sighed. "Excuse me, but how do you know I am a thief or stole anything?" Green Bean's words. All he seen was me in an alley getting dressed. Robin looked confused and looked as Beast Boy changed back and looked confused too. "You're kidding, right? You were in that alley and had puffs of smoke come from nowhere, and then you dress up and then say no one will recognize me no matter what I do, so you tell me." He roared out and Naruto groaned. Naruto sighed before continuing. "Listen, maybe I wanted to be hidden from some bad people, and thought they would look for me so I dressed up. I don't want to be recognized by anyone because I don't know what the fuck is going on." Robin sighed, rubbing his face. "Fine, we'll let you go, but pull anything and we'll be back." Naruto nodded and was let go. As the five started to go away, he said his last word. "Like you could stop me. I only let you catch me because I didn't want to make any trouble." Robin turned, grinning. "Really? I find that hard to believe. We catch so many bad guys it's not funny. You are no different." Naruto shrugged. "If I wanted to, I could do this. Even when I was trapped, I could have just thought happy thoughts and went poof." He suddenly vanished from sight, and after a few seconds Raven sighed. "He's gone." His energy disappeared. Cyborg looked surprised. "You mean to tell me he walked on thin air like it was solid, dodged me and Star, and was able to do that all along? Who is he?" Robin was confused as well, and then looked to BB. "Beast Boy, you really need to think before you act. While your intentions to stop criminals is good, we have no proof." BB sighed, nodding. "Sorry, just tired you know? You have me out on patrol 5 days in a row. I need a rest." Robin nodded. "I guess you got that right. I do push it a little, huh? Tell you what, we divide the night patrol between us and take the weekends off." After everyone agreed, they went off, with Naruto on the other side and edge of the city. Naruto sighed, standing on a post overlooking some of the city. He could tell it was just a normal town, but the 5 people he met were not normal. He tried to think what world he found himself in. Kyuubi decided to make itself known. "There are so many human planes, it's unbelievable how Kami allows so many of you to survive despite such a range of good and evil. It will take some time and information before I can tell you anything, Kit, but I will say this, it's best to keep changing appearances. Gather information from both sides, the sooner the better. Only have your normal you in the day." Naruto hummed. He tried to think how. The best way to do it all at once and quick was Kage Bunshin, but then again, they only lasted so long, a week tops, and if he needed them to go more, he was in serious trouble. He sighed, resigning himself to let his Rai Bunshin take the night in case things went sour, and he knew they might with those kids trying to take him down if he managed to accidentally break a law. He dropped and ran through the city at lightning-fast speed, wanting no one to see him or know of him beforehand. He had to find a hideout. He smiled as he seen an abandoned house complex and jumped in there. He sighed seeing the state, but hey, nothing a few Kage Bunshin could clean. He got a few up and running and helped them out, getting at least one room into very good shape, spotless and neat. He undressed, sealing his Akatsuki gear and unsealing a pair of, lack for a better sword, civil clothing, as civil as can be given which dimension he is in now. He put them off and just slept for the night, thinking of his next move. What now? Should he seek both hero and villain alike, or just wait for them to view him as a potential for their team? Either way he looked at it, it would take some kind of miracle. Truthfully, he hated being the hero. Hell, being the hero saved millions. Land of waves, land of lightning, land of wind, land of fire. Hell, he even saved the many other villages like the rain, waterfall, and grass. He saved so many lives. How was he repaid? Stolen property, stolen money, stolen inheritance, stolen knowledge, and more. His mind was sealed so many times the only things he knew to be real now were with visual representations. Oh, that was not all. The 5th, so kind of his godmother. to seal his memories when Sakura decided to cheat on him for Lee, who she cheated on him with Sasuke, and then Ino, who he was engaged with. He found she was cheating on him with Sasuke the entire relationship. Now, those two, he could possibly understand, and the fact if all three had their memories sealed of those times, then fine, hell he'd even still be part of the village if those were the only two, but then the one he couldn't have sealed away. Tsunade didn't even know he was dating Temari. Temari, the last one, the last straw. He not only caught, had her admit, and have her tell him off about her effing Shikamaru behind his back, but she then proceeds to, after a week of her breaking his heart, come back to him, only for the next day him find her doing it again. That was the last straw. He sighed, thinking since he was here, might as well enjoy life, enjoy things going on around him. Forget the past and those idiots, just let everything happen now. No more hero, but to hell if he was going to do, or allow to be done, things of the unspeakable like Pain did before he got to him, Madara after him, and more so. He would not be a villain because of his past, but he was not going to be a hero by any means. He sighed, resting his eyes for the next day. Kyuubi was in his mind, fumming at the thoughts passing in the young man's head. To think you could go through so much, still willing to give your life for a place, and they didn't think of the consequences. I am so glad you burned that place, but I am also glad you spared everyone. Your resolve is admirable. But if we are going to make this place home, the least we can do is find out where we are. He hummed in thought once more. The green one changed shape, but I did not feel chakra, nor did I see any hand seals. The orange woman was frighteningly similar to those warriors I met in space once. Power bolts? The metal one is definitely a half-human half-robot, and the weapon is so timely. Then there was that one girl. Why do I get a demonic smell to her form? Her powers seem familiar, and that boy, who is he? While Naruto slumbered, he heard every word, knowing Kyuubi was just worried about him. He just didn't realize, thought or not, he was moving on finally. He was going to just have fun, and be him for him, no one else. In the morning he smiled, stretching as he finally had a good night's sleep for once. Hey, a few weeks either in a tree on hard ground or running for your life for days without it, you'd be tired too. He changed quick, seeing as he was going to go into town and see how he was going to get things going in his life. Sure, he could go out, do anything he liked, but seeing as how he didn't know this world, it was dangerous. So he decided to go out and get some info. Yeah, his ninja training was going to pay off a lot right now, which he grimaced at. Ninja were stealthy. All he did when he was a ninja was battle out in the open like a maniac. Well, until he joined Anbu. Why dwell on the past? He found himself walking to crazy places, and kept thinking maybe he should not have tried going out today. He seen one shop that was full of shinobi gear, which made him think of home. Then he seen an old food stand, reminding him of Ikaraku, and then he came upon a school which looked a lot like the academy. But thankfully those were past, and he found himself sitting in a place called Piano Pizza. Seriously, this place looked like a giant piano. No wonder they got that name. After a while, ordering some free tea, thankfully as today was Free Drinks Friday, he used his good ears to overhear people talking. Yada yada, how work was today, yada yada. What kind of flowers did a girl like, yada yada, how the Teen Titans caught yet another criminal. That caught his attention. Teen Titans. Was that the name of those guys? Before he could turn, he saw a few people starting a ruckus. A big fellow, he could have sworn could have been descendant of giants, a small brat, as if he needed to see a kid following a big guy's example, and then a girl with pink hair who besides the eyes and skin, looked pretty much like his, in another world, X. He grimaced at the memories. If that girl just had the right skin and eyes. Man, why did a girl have to look like my beach of an X today? With all these memories, it's hard enough to enjoy the day. I mean, come on, to finish all these pained past events, I have to stare at an almost twin sister of the two-timing bitch who cheated on me multiple times, breaking up and getting back with me 5 fucking times, and still being a bitch. I digress. No more Sakura bitch, just focus on the present. The present was getting heated, as the little guy was bossing around the big guy, which was strange, but then again, so was the day he was having. Just as the guy was about to land a swinging punch on a lady, he threw the plate under his teacup at the guy. Said giant seen it coming and instead of punching the girl, punched the plate from mid-air. Alright, who did that? He looked around before seeing a strange man, drinking tea with what seemed to be a missing saucer nowhere to be found. He let the girl down and went over to the boy. "All right, you think it's funny, huh, punk? Let's see you smirk after this." He raised a fist and was about to slam it down, but Naruto kicked his foot, knocking the table from its hinges, and then bending forward with his elbow and making the table slam the man and move him over to the side. The giant growled. "You asked for it." He raised another fist, but this time Naruto blocked it, humming as it seemed he was only slightly struggling. "I say, you're stronger than you look, but I dealt with heavier blows from my ex-girlfriend." The giant looked incredulous at the boy before raising it again, only for Naruto to grab the guy's hair, standing up now. "Tell you what, let me show you never to hit a woman." And faster than anyone could even see, of even the giant could either, he raised his knee, pulling the giant's head down and slamming it, before raising the giant's head back up and lowering his leg, as if it never happened. The giant was silent for a moment before grunting an ouch and holding his head. Naruto waited till it was moved and did it again, and again, and again, each time waiting for the ouch and clear shot. Since he noticed everyone looking at them weirdly, as if they didn't see it, he shrugged. "Here, let me put it in slow motion." He then slammed his knee against the giant's head again, this time holding it for people to see before pulling the head back up and lowering his leg back again. Everyone then looked shocked. The giant growled, holding his head. "That's it, alpha formation." Naruto then seen the other two come after him, the boy's backpack gaining wings and flying at him, and the girl flipping like a gymnast to get over to him. He sighed, thinking why not, he felt like getting a fight or two in today. The girl suddenly had a pink ball form in her hand, and then the static hit the tables, which suddenly came flying at him. He thought, why not test his new technique? He yawned as the table enclosed, and when they got close, they shattered into dust and fell to the floor. The girl was shocked. He looked at her curiously. "What, do I got something on my face?" She looked incredulous too, before growling, sending a few shocks at him directly. He smiled as they hit, and nothing happened. He grinned. "That all you got?" She grinned. "I bet you can't even walk right." He took it as a challenge and suddenly appeared before her and knocked on her head. "Sorry, you were saying?" She screamed at the closeness and fell back, instinctively flipping back on her feet like a cat. The little dude flying around suddenly activated 4 spider legs, one trying to slam Naruto. Naruto just took the hit to the head, but instead of flying off, he stayed put, freaking everyone out. He looked around away from the leg and seen them shocked. "Again, do I have something on my face?" The other leg came swinging around and tried to hit his face, only to be shattered by his head. The flyer groaned and backed off, getting his pack going. Naruto yawned. "Seriously, you're not so tough. I fought genin tougher than you." He waved it off as if nothing. The giant rushed in again, trying for a surprise attack. Naruto kicked behind him, making the giant fall forwards before he grabbed the fist and turned the behemoth onto his back, swinging him around his waist before finally slamming him to the ground in front of him. The girl decided to use her own skills, flipping forward again, jumping like before, but this time slamming a hell into Naruto's head, only to be caught, swung around a little, him grabbing her arm, their waists touching as he swung her before letting her feet touch the ground and him holding her up by her arm. She looked up as if she was being in a romantic fling off your feet kisses, but him standing as if nothing happened, holding her hand to keep her from falling butt first against the giant's chest. Naruto yawned again. "Seriously. Last night I had a better fight. I actually tried to dodge people." The flyer tried to ram him, thinking the force of his suit and the balance issue of the guy was going to give him an edge. Mistake, error, does not compute. He slammed into the ground as Naruto grabbed his head and pointed him to the ground, making him slam head first to the concrete. Naruto shrugged, letting the girl go and stepping back to his broken table and getting the tea he left on the floor intact and drank the rest. As he got done, the 3 stood back up and were about to go when a voice called. "Gizmo, Mammoth, Jinx, I thought I'd find you here." They suddenly looked scared to shit. Naruto looked at the origin walking to them, a man with pointed blonde hair and a white robe. They bowed, asking forgiveness. He smiled. "I will this time, seeing as, even though you skipped class, you found an interesting potential." They chuckled and smiled nervously, hoping they wouldn't get their asses kicked soon. He walked to Naruto and bowed humbly. "My name is Brother Blood, and I would be honored if you would join me for a cup of coffee later. Maybe we can speak of you joining a school I created. Maybe you'd enjoy being a thief and villain." Naruto felt a tug on his mind and smirked, seeing that the man was trying to go all psychic on his brain pattern. He felt this many times fighting Ino, who just wanted him to shut up and die a few times. Thankfully, Kyuubi had helped create a very powerful mental block. He thought, what the hell, a thief sounded good, watching only his back, getting what he wanted. Seeing as he was mostly unable to have anything, he would want to finally have something. He nodded. "Sure, why not? A thief sounds up my alley. But forget a villain, I don't do that crap." Blood smiled back. "Excellent. To tell the truth, I am a thief myself, but I do get myself into more trouble than normal. So I help people find their way now." Naruto nodded, seeing the logic. Can't be the thief you want to be? Help others do so. Sounded good. He shrugged, starting to walk off. "Let me get my stuff. Oh, and before I forget, I am new, so to speak. I would like to figure things out I don't know about." After getting a yes from the man, he walked off, smiling more. A thief veteran, who was from this world, should be able to give him some good information. Naruto got his stuff from the old building. He walked out and seen Blood had followed, and they went off, Naruto following into an underground facility. He had to admit, this place felt like it could be fun, especially if he decided to go for being a thief, might as well know the rules. He entered the door to see some students running along and Blood smiling. "Welcome to the HIV." 1 week later. Naruto was in his normal garb for being a student now, also known as Kitsune. He wore a red cloak with 9 black streaks over his body. It covered near everything, and his mask made him look mysterious enough, a fox with the kanji for 9. He was to report to the entrance exams and participate. As he entered, he found himself at a disadvantage, as most of these kids were known for being great thieves or villains. He groaned. If he was going to beat these guys, he'd need to be his normal self. If normal is even the right word. Blood rose from the pillar and smiled down at them. "Welcome all. I have to say, we have a promising batch this time around. I wonder how well you all do. Those who have not done this exam, I am going to give you the rundown. During the day, you and fellow examinees will go against each other in one-on-one matches. The challenger decided the rules and the conditions of the match, and the challenged will follow them and try to win." Naruto thought it might not be so bad. Maybe he could pick Jinx in a one-on-one, seeing as how she had no effect on him whatsoever. Blood continued though. "The range of the matches can go anywhere between fighting one another to kick some can, as you'd put it, a gauntlet of traps and corridors to see if you can steal or pillage better and or faster, or even to see who can cheat in anything, hacking, or even simple things like arm wrestling. Pick your challenge and hope it comes true. Oh, and if you're challenged, you cannot escape it, so hope you challenge first." As soon as the speech was over, everyone left. There was a limit in which you could ask and could not. They currently had to wait half an hour. He was going to his room when Jinx and her 2 teammates stopped him. "So, you think just because you beat us in the parlor, you can beat anyone, huh? I seen some moves like that, ninjutsu, right?" Naruto looked at the pink-haired girl like she had a second head. How the hell did she know anything about ninja? She grinned. "Tell you what, let's see who's the better ninja. I have a friend who's taking this exam again. Her name is Cheshire. She's a kunoichi. Fight her fair and square in a fight, and I will not only accept you beat us, but also you can do whatever you want to me." She may try to hide it, but she was secretly crushing on him. Sure, he beat the snot out of her team like it was nothing. But something else picked at her. He didn't hurt her, he didn't try to hurt her, and yet he took her down so easy. Not only that, but her powers didn't even seem to faze him at all. She hit him directly with a hex bolt, and not a damn thing bad happened to him. She was mostly alone because of her powers. The only ones she could allow near were those who didn't care, and even those who she cared for. She'd hold back her power to keep from hurting them. But sometimes it seemed as if love was beyond her reach, because one false move and her powers could accidentally stop the guy's heart. She wanted to know if he truly was immune, and if so, she would put the moves on him. Until then, she needed to know his strength. And what better way than to have him beat her friend? Naruto sighed, seeing he was going to have a hard time. Sure, he wouldn't mind a fight, and ninja or not. He was in a different world. He just wanted to cut loose, not be stealthy unless he needed to be. He'd be stealth like on a heist, but otherwise be himself. He nodded. Fine. And what I want you to do is stop spying on me for a week. You know it's creepy for a girl to be following me so much they are almost willing to go into the boys' bathroom just to see who I am. Jinx blushed before growling out. As if, how do you know it's me? Besides, maybe you just can't stop checking me out, huh? You're the one following me, ninja boy. Before she could retort any further, he just chuckled and vanished. Gizmo chuckled. He may have snot for brains, but he's a ninja, no doubt, though that does suggest whom is following whom. Huh, Jinx? He turned to see her blushing in frustration over the boy that left. Mammoth smiled. Come on, Jinx, let's go. You have to study for your favorite class, and I know how much you want a sparring partner. He knew she loved acrobatics, and to her, fighting was her acrobatics. She nodded, sighing and smiling. Fine, but you know, he's not a bad guy considering he peeked on me once. She blushed at the memory. He accidentally knocked her down, and it was his room, but still, he knocked her down when she tripped coming in. He chuckled when she left a few minutes later, about how she should stop wearing skirts, and he saw the color of her panties. During lunch he stepped up to Cheshire. Hey, got a challenge yet? I challenge you. Cheshire, although grinning with the mask, was also grinning behind it as she turned, standing. You got to me first. I was hoping to fight another ninja. Name your terms. Naruto nodded. After lunch, battle till one yields and no killing. Cheshire chuckled darkly. You are on, shinobi bastard. She got her lunch and walked off. He sighed and ate his before going to the arena. He stood before her a few minutes later, both ready as blood called their fight. Fight till you surrender, go. Cheshire disappeared from view, slowly, and the only thing remaining was the grinning mask. Naruto sighed, seeing the resemblance to the famous cat. He waited, pushing his chakra out and waiting. He felt something behind him and activated a jutsu, the same as when the tables smashed, smacking her back and into a wall. She growled. What did you do? Naruto waved a finger. Ninja are supposed to keep secrets. Come on, I thought you were better than this. He made a motion with his hand, saying come on, and smirked, waiting for her to move. She disappeared once more, and he thought, hell, why not allow something to hit him for the fun of it? He seen a mask suddenly appear in front of him, smirking, and then a punch slammed into his face. He just stood there. Everyone gaped, and he smiled. Seriously, if this is it, I better just sit down and stare at the ceiling. Better yet, I'll kick your ass. Naruto kicked her away, but before she could disappear, he raised a hand, and she was suddenly being pulled by an invisible force. He reeled the hand he raised up at her back and then punched her in the gut hard, sending her away. She didn't get far, however, as the other hand raised and made her come at him once more. He grabbed her face mask, pulling her down so her feet were planted, then slammed the girl down to the floor, making her lift off a little more from the force. He stepped away, his back to her, as she suddenly got hit by another invisible force and hit the wall yet again. He sighed, but then, seeing her panting and get up finally, he smiled. You have stamina and endurance, a fine trait I don't often see in Kunoichi. Kudos, but I have something in my bag of tricks. Let's see you top this. Naruto snapped his fingers, and suddenly a tornado of wind picked up around him. A literal tornado, as the wind was blowing some people back a little. He smirked behind his mask, seeing Cheshire get her claws out and stick to the floor to stay still. As the wind picked up, he could have sworn the curtains raised, and he saw someone he didn't think was possibly there. But meh, why fret? He could let things play out. Anyway, he had a fight to win, and then snapped his fingers yet again. The wind didn't pick up, but it swirled with lightning, thus creating a tornado made out of wind and lightning so bad that some systems blew up and fried the arena to hell. Cheshire was shaking in her boots. The hell was this ninja? Controlling the wind and lightning as if it were nothing. Who was he? Naruto chuckled darkly. Does Kitsune have to slap a bitch? Because you can run, you can hide, but I will always find you. I will always have the powers to kill you, and you be at my mercy. Surrender? Sadly, she was too shocked to answer. so he decided to shock her into reality. He pointed 2 fingers at her, his hand making the image of a gun and then jerking it, as if firing and fire it did, as when it fired a link of lightning-powered wind blasted forward at Cheshire. She yelped and used her speed to run, forgetting her powers as trying to would make things worse. She jumped away and he followed her, firing again and making her jump again and again. After 5 times he chuckled, remembering a movie he seen. I know what you're thinking. Did I shoot 5 bullets or 6? But you're forgetting to ask yourself the real question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya? Punkette. He fired again, and she jumped out of the way again, and he grinned. Last chance. Forfeit or I kick your ass. She was being snuffed out as her voice was betraying her, unable to speak and stop the fight. He shook his head. Oh, so unwise. He lifted a leg behind him, spinning on the other a full 360 turn. Halfway his leg hit the ground and skidded before his legs were wide apart, and he crouched, slamming his hands together. Get ready. He raised his hands and then ripped them from each other's grip, and when he did, the tornado did too. 2 huge arms sparking with lightning and spinning with wind coming at the sides. Then a face appeared, roaring with the sounds of lightning cries. Cheshire was unable to speak, so her yelling at such a sight was unthinkable. She couldn't raise her hands as she was stuck to the floor so she wouldn't fly off or into the tornado. Hey, if you had to fight something with only the power to go invisible, which was useless to someone like this, you'd want to just put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. Naruto slammed a hand down in front of him, and the tornado followed it to slam its own sparking hand on top of Cheshire, who knew it was a good idea to. She did, barely dodging the hand, and then Naruto spun his arms wide to the side, both arms of the tornado doing the same as she jumped high in the air to dodge, succeeding, but then the hands twirled and made a big twister under her. Naruto thought of a good way to end this, but sadly it would cost him. The tornado dissipated and was gone now. Cheshire panted, mask still grinning, but her real face as if she saw her life flash between her eyes. And she did, and was hoping she would never relive it again. She seen Naruto heaved over, not moving. She thought this was her chance and went invisible, going for the finishing punch. Sadly, was not meant to be as he punched her stomach again, making her turn visible and look at him. Gotcha. Let's see you continue when humiliated. He threw her back and she growled, getting up. He chuckled, holding her sash. Might want to cover up. She blushed and eeped as she was forced to close her dressings. She growled. Fine, yield. I was trying to, but your stupid tornado got me so scared I couldn't talk right. Blood came down as Naruto gave her the sash back. Brilliant. You pass and are a member of our group now. That is a good thing. So, let us go make your classes, shall we? Naruto smiled, nodding his head. Fine, but tell me what I need to know before I change my mind. He wanted to know more about this world. Everything, but sadly, things were going to be hard for him. He knew it. 1 year. A whole not a whole stinking year, more like 320 days. But in that time, he learned everything he abso-fucking-lutely needed to know. And stuff he wished he didn't have to go learn. Okami, that blood guy, was a slave driver when it came to school-related business. First week, he learned everything about the definition of all types of heroes and villains in this world. From the cops and robbers, to the TeenTitans and the Hive, to the Justice League of the Brotherhood of Evil. He had to admit, learning how varied that kind of shit was in this world to his own helped him figure out how to be himself and a thief here. Kyuubi had a spat after he finally figured out what world they were in. Shit, Kit, Kami be damned all to the fiery depths of hell. Not this world. How the hell are we supposed to go up against all those asshole heroes? Okami, why do you torment me so? Kuso. Naruto was thoroughly confused by the rant in his head, and he had to hold back the pain raging in him because of the fox and his fucking mouth. What the hell, you stinking fox? What's got you so worked up that you're going to give me a headache the size of my confusion? Kyuubi sighed and growled deeply. All right, listen and listen good. When I was roaming free before I was passed on through the Uzumaki family, I visited every single dimension known to Kami, except prison worlds, because I really didn't want to be locked away. This world is going to be hard on you. Naruto was about to ask, when Kyuubi explained it to him. They just taught you about the Justice League. I know them, 7 members in all if I count right. Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkwoman, Martian Manhunter, Batman and finally Superman. Kyuubi then proceeded to tell them their powers and abilities, and for each one, he felt not to bring upon their wrath. Someone like Sakura, a guy faster than Lee at full speed, a guy with an ability like Gaara's, a woman who was half animal and could kick his ass if given the chance, a Martian with so many abilities to kick his ass with he lost count. And then came Kyuubi's explanation of the biggest threats. Batman and Superman, get me Kit. Batman is your average, everyday man during the day. He pays his bills, sees politicians, tries to help people with his spare time, and does your normal stuff. He has no special abilities. He has no powers beyond human comprehension. Naruto scoffed at that, wondering how that could be a fucking threat. By night he puts on some black tights, dresses like a bat, and he has a mind so sharp you could cut me up and feed me to the fishes with it so fast you'd be next before you have a chance to breathe. And he is only human. Not to mention he has extensive martial arts training and could kill you with his pinky in a second if you didn't take him effing seriously. Oh, and let's not forget this little tidbit, he's also a fucking ninja with so many bells and whistles and gadgets in his belt, he could open one and knock you out with a trank. Naruto perked up and was paling at that. If he didn't at least get his mind straight and take this guy seriously, or even use his full strength, he'd be in trouble. Then Kyuubi gave him Superman. Superman is another fucking alien. During normal hours, peace and quiet, he is in a business suit and normally looks human and tries to fit in. But when shit hits the fan he goes into a fucking phone booth and comes out with red tights on the outside and a cape and becomes Superman, your worst fucking nightmare. He can withstand even my most powerful attack and not die. He will be knocked the fuck out for about a few minutes before groaning and getting on his feet tired, getting his energy back so quickly it's impossible, then tries to kick ass once more. That is just his resilience. His eyes can see through anything except lead-based objects, shoot beams of heat so hot it could burn the fucking sun. He has strength enough to rip this entire planet in half at full strength. As fast as the fucking Flash, either on land or flying in the air, and not to forget, he is about half as sharp as Batman, and given how what I said about Batman is spot on and 100% true. Besides the part about his mind able to cut me up, that was just a representation. That's not something to laugh at. Naruto was now scared shitless with this. He did not want to face off against the League anytime soon. So he would be a thief, keep the Titans off his back. Nothing serious that makes those guys want to go after him. Naruto blinked. Wait, so if you know this much about the League, then why not about the Titans? Kyuubi sighed. I do now, but still not half as much as I wish. The boy in red? He's Batman's student. From what I see anyway, I don't know how good he is, but we will find out, huh? The green boy, never seen a thing like him before, gotta be mutated by some kind of chemicals. The big boy in metal, he's a cyborg, half human, half robot, all badass. You will learn about technology here, learn that and see what I mean. The orange girl with a purple outfit, she is an alien as well, just like Superman. She is not from the same planet or in the same league. Her people can only manipulate energy based off their emotions. Whatever they feel could change their powers quick. But most of the time they use either martial arts or energy-based projectiles, normally bolts like what were thrown, and I-beams, no worries not like Superman's, but still hurts like a motherfucker. Super strength, super speed, not as much, but still, and I will never forget the best part I love the girls for. They transmit knowledge through lip contact. Meaning they kiss you, and they can give you all their knowledge, or take yours. Still it's a hell of a make-out session. Naruto grinned at that, wondering if he could get a taste of those lips to see what it all was about. But he digressed. Kyuubi didn't talk about the other girl. With good reason, I don't know her. Ability to bend objects' wills to her own, manipulate some kind of dark energy. I felt something demonic too, but only half. It's something weird I can't figure out about her, but it just doesn't feel right. I don't know why. So let me think on it more, let me gather information from when you fight her, and when that's over with I can give you a better answer. Naruto accepted that. Since he got all the information he needed for the day and needed a nap, he was thankful to finally figure things out. and over the next few days he would find out everything he could about this world from Kyuubi. Second month, he decided to give explosives and blasting a try, seeing as he would never know when he needed a good explosive or two handy in case of emergency. But he found that not only were the chemicals cheap, but could be made on such a high concentration and level they could rival C4 and be at least half the price. He was so glad he had brought everything he needed in a sealing scroll, because this C4 sounded only half as powerful compared to his explosive notes. Fourth month. Oh, what a month! He had time to himself, finally remembering he had clones, and sent them to class and went out to train himself in his techniques, and boy did he get good. His chakra manipulations and control were higher than any Kage in history, especially considering the Kyuubi. His wind and lightning control and manipulations were at a degree only Kami could match. He also had finally figured this entire world out, and was thankful this was it, because if it was anywhere else Kyuubi thought might have been it, he would most certainly be dead by now. So he just enjoyed his time as it were, and did things his own way, finally able to let loose. For the next several months he made friends with Gizmo and Mammoth, and for some reason Jinx was trying to hit on him. He felt he needed to stay away from her for a while longer, at least to figure out if she is like Sakura or not. But he was good friends with the other two, maybe Private Hive, but he was such a laid-back or action-based dude. Making any friendship with him was as hard as his so-called boot camp. Jinx wasn't the only girl after him. He had an offer or two from other Hive girls around, but the two that were borderline stalkers were Jinx and Cheshire. He had to admit, unlike Jinx, Cheshire was a hell of a stealthy kunoichi for this world, and his ability to read chakra was ineffective at finding her, so if she was hidden on the ceiling, unless he personally inspected every inch of it, he'd never find her. Except she did make a few mistakes, and he did have the ability to sense people watching him. Thank his past and the hateful glares, he knew if someone was watching him. He had fun while it lasted. Really, it was fun, but he needed out of this hell hole the master called a school. He even had a perfect plan too, use their own teachings against them. One night he decided he'd go see Gizmo. Gizmo was currently working on something for him, a mask with a visor. That way he could see things better in this world without using his chakra. So how's it going, Nugget for brains? Oh yeah, he learned the best way to get along with Gizmo. Joke around just like him. Gizmo grinned, letting the lens over his eyes raise and look at Naruto. Well shit liquor, what are you doing here? I didn't expect you for another 2 hours. Naruto shrugged. Got nothing better to do? Jinx is off with Stone, and Mammoth is currently swooning over Leviathan. What am I going to do for the next 2 hours? I know, talk with a real friend. Gizmo snickered, going back and zapping some circuits into place. Well, Jinx and Stone have been getting a little mushy lately. I wonder if she knows he's using some kind of hologram. Anyway, your new mask is taking a bit longer. It's a tough one trying to fit everything without losing the natural protective qualities Suo. I decided on having you steal some things for me to make it better. Naruto grinned, seeing as that would give him something fun to do and test his abilities if the securities were tough. Tell me what, where, the layout, and let's see if I can break the 12-hour record of thievery since Gone in 60 Seconds. Gizmo loved that movie, mostly because of the cars, but hey, a boy can dream. Gizmo threw Naruto a disc. That's the place of each item, security layout, floor plans, and all I could whip up in a jiffy, and what I need you to steal has function. At LexCorp, there's a steel called Titan Omega, a special project I want to test out, said to be as strong as Superman's own skin. At Wayne Int, there's a fabric-hardened goo called Supreme Dragon Skin, supposed to cushion anything, and will never burn or heat to melting up to 300 degrees Celsius and rip-resistant, cold up to 300 below Celsius. It's abundant too from what I saw, enough to give you a whole fucking suit times 10, but it needs to stay in liquid form, so they put it in cryo. Naruto grinned as he kept talking. Seemed interesting. Anything else? Gizmo sighed, frowning. The third thing is a little tougher. It's locked up in the Titans Tower. Old Bird for Brains made a suit able to take out all the other Titans in a flash, and made of some slick stuff. I don't have much on it. All I got is the floor plans and vent panels. Their security is the shit, and I hate it. But I gotta respect Cyborg and his smarts. He knows exactly how to set up defense. Naruto grinned. Don't you remember who you are talking to, Fart Stain? I'm Naruto Uzumaki, best damn ninja in this world. Gizmo gave a thumbs up. I'll even time you. Now get out of here, crud muncher. I got work to do and things to plan out. 10:00 p.m., middle of town. Naruto was in cloak and mask. He was Kitsune, and grinned under his mask as he spotted all 3 targets, making 2 clones. Alright, I need you to go to LexCorp. Steal the damn steel, and you, get the skin, but like he said, keep it in cryostasis. He told them, and they vanished in the blink of an eye. He himself went to the tower. He was there and opened a panel on the roof. Okay, Pit Sniffer, time begins now, he said, and he got a call back telling to go. He slipped in, sneaking silently, using his chakra to float without touching the metal, and slipped through the room's ventilation. He saw a weird training room, ordinary by most accounts, but had many things inside it like toys and gadgets, and posts to train on. Robin. He went down more and found a weird draped pink room. Starfire, if my guess is correct. He hit a small file and newspaper-filled room and hummed. Either this is a collection gallery, or a briefing room. He went to the last room in this vent passage. It was a dark dang room, and he slid in, falling silently to the floor, but then catching himself and floating in mid-air. He looked around, seeing nothing, so he hummed a quiet tune and pushed Hick Chakra through the giant lock in the door, unlocking it by creating a disruption. And when it unlocked, he slid in without touching a thing and went to the back vault, smiling and silently thanking Gizmo for his floor plans. He seen the door was tougher to unlock, and it was too broad to just crack it. Naruto thought how Robin must have set this up, to where it would keep everyone out. But the vault was also partly in, as if keeping something in. What was this suit? He decided the hell with it and put a few paper bombs on the hinges and main points, and got back. He waited a few seconds and sighed. Here goes nothing. He put up a seal and the bombs blew, the door breaking off and landing away, and with that, he tripped the alarms. He sighed and grabbed the whole suit, everything, and then putting it in a scroll he carried before running out the room, grabbing some tech as he did and then climbing through the same vent he came in, crawling like a madman until he was outside. He grinned seeing no Titan near, but then a black figure came from the floor and it was that Raven girl. Shit. She looked at him and put up her hands. Who are you? Just as that was said, everyone surrounded him and he grinned. Thankfully, he placed a special item a good ways into the city as his getaway. He stood straight, putting up a hand. If I wanted you to know that, would I be wearing a mask? He then waved. Chow. Then in a gleam of yellow he was gone. Raven growled. That was the same kind of teleportation from that other guy a year back. Who is he? Robin groaned. You mean that masked dude Beast Boy said was a thief? Well, guess he was right, but why did he change his colors? Does he have many aliases so not to be caught by his true identity? They went back in and Robin searched with the others their rooms to check and see what he stole. Robin entered the red X chamber and seen a few things missing and gasped, running to his vault. He growled and punched the wall. Damn. Now this maniac has my suit. Does he plan to use it as his next mask? If anything bad happens, I know it's all my fault. Naruto sighed, grabbing his tri-pointed kunai and grinned. He then saw the other two use the same method, and he collected the items in one scroll before he went back into the secret passage back to the hive. He chuckled. Time. Gizmo checked the clock after stopping his watch and gawked. Damn shithead, you actually pulled off a record. Try 2 hours and 15 minutes. You are good. But I have to inspect the shit to make sure. Bring it over tomorrow. I'm tired and going to bed. Oh, and Jinx said to get your butt to lunch tomorrow. Naruto sighed. Hi. Gizmo blinked in confusion before sighing. Just say yes, and only once, will ya? That crud gets my brain rattling, and I don't like it to be rattled this late at night unless I wish it. Naruto chuckled, and went back to his room. He saw Stone wandering the halls, sneaking around and followed him silently. He saw him behind a corner looking at his arm, which now looked robotic, and a visual image of Robin on it. He was talking and Naruto listened in. I can't talk right now, I've got studies to do if I'm going to get through this mission. Robin retorted. I realize that, but we just had a major break in here. I wanted to know if the Hive is starting something again. Stone grumbled then thought of it. Sorry, nothing I heard, it's been quiet. Just the simple practices, studies, and thefts around that I told you about. Why, who broke in? What did they steal? Robin shook his head. I'd rather not say, but it's important this guy was in a black cloak of some kind. But his mask was a fox mask. Know anyone fitting that description? Stone thought and nodded. Yeah, Kitsune. He's a ninja, I mean literally. If he wants to hide from you, he will be able to no problem. He also has a drastic ability. I mean drastic. I heard rumors when he first started he made a tornado all by himself, no machines, just by snapping his fingers, and then proceeded to create it with lightning and shoot wind-lightning combination bolts at his enemy. He said that was only a small chunk of his true power though, but I doubt it. He's chill and knows his plans. He makes them and then does them perfect, no mistake, but only does things he wants, and last I checked, he had no reason to get at us. Robin sighed, looking down. Well, if everything is true, then I guess we were lucky. Raven says he's the same energy and used the same thing as the one guy a year ago. Remember him? Stone nodded. Yeah, freaky. If he's the same dude, then no telling who he is. Robin nodded. Keep tabs. I want to know everything about this Kitsune. Talk to his friends if he's not going to himself. Don't blow your cover. Stone nodded. Roger, cyborg out. He started walking and didn't notice anyone nearby and jogged back to his room. Naruto phased off the wall and grinned. Ah, cyborg, no wonder I didn't see you. So a traitor in the hive. I guess I should wait for the opportune moment. He vanished and went to sleep in his room. The next day he was awake at near noon because he was out so late. He went to Gizmo, who was currently asleep in his lab, seemingly to have went to sleep after inspecting the objects. Naruto grinned. Oh hey, sorry, Gizmo is too tired to go out with you, but I'll give him the message, what? Oh, sure, you should wear the skimpiest two-piece to show him you like it. Gizmo jumped up to grab the invisible phone from Naruto's hand and growled. Naruto smirked before Gizmo went flying. You shit monkey piece of stained panties of a ninja. Damn you and your prankster side being better than mine. Naruto chuckled and knew Gizmo respected his skills and his pranks and loved them. Just not how good he was at it, or how he did it to him. Naruto let Gizmo settle down, then returned to work. Gizmo grabbed some pieces of metal. This shit is the shit alright, but they exaggerated. It's still the best thing known to man. I can make a pretty fine suit for you for all your trouble. He grabbed a small block of dragon skin. And I cannot believe this stuff. I was underestimating them. They had this shit contained at a chemical level. I can even reproduce the shit. Now, this thing is perfect for making suits. Want me to make you a good one? Naruto grinned, thinking Gizmo was having fun, so he nodded. Sure thing, fart for brains, give me the best you can build. Gizmo grinned and opened the X suit. This shit stain is next. He gave it a quick fabric and systems analysis and grinned. Damn, I was right, nice shit, flexible cloth like titanium for body armor, just not a cape like he has already. I wonder why he just doesn't make his normal suit like that. He then looked at the power source. F me, the shit brain used that. The hell was bird brain thining? Oh right, nothing because he got a bird brain. Naruto, this shit he's powering the thing with is volatile. It's like, if not properly used, if not inspected, and not outright inspected every second, this shit is like a nuclear device. Naruto was confused. So why did he use it? Gizmo growled. Shit for brains had the suit's weapon systems and the power of the suit connected, meaning everything is connected to a single power line through the entire skeleton like a nervous system and the brain center, which is more dangerous. When used as a power source, it's a nightmare to keep track on so you don't blow yourself to Pluto. Weapons. You got your new best friend, and both? You can keep track and use it well, which is the only smart thing, but he has it as a brain system, meaning it's more unstable. Naruto snorted. And he's the leader? Damn. I'm thinking, if you can make a suit do exactly like this on another power source like my chakra, Gizmo grinned wider. Sure thing, I already worked up a way to integrate. I thought since you were one of the best like me, Jinx and Mammoth, you'd need a way to keep your powers to a minimum, otherwise blowing us to smithereens. So snot breath, black or blue? Naruto thought on it and grinned. Black, I need to be stealthy after all. But I want a blood red tint to the black and give my new fox mask that cool X Makes it look even better. Gizmo snorted, working up the designs on a paper. Gotcha. This suit is Red X. What will you be called after I make the new suit? Naruto chuckled darkly. Kitsune X. Gizmo nodded. Alright, now out, time for my fingers to work. Oh, and by the way, the dance is coming next week. Think of anyone you'd like to go with. That Cheshire chick seems really into you. I sometimes see her sneaking notes by you every time I catch it. And over the year I seen 10. Naruto snorted and rolled his eyes. Try 110. I've even put them into piles and burned them. Gizmo whistled. Damn, well why not? Seems to me like you two could find something to talk about. Naruto shook his head. Nah, the chick is seriously freaky. She's tried to stay invisible, hide past corners, and that's fine. But I also know she would rather kick my ass for that sash stunt I tried while at the same time giving me a kiss, so I'd be kissed and then stabbed in the back. A ninja has a tendency to stab people in the back. Gizmo snorted. Yeah, be sure to keep it in mind. You never know what she'll do. Trust me, she once gave me a scratch because she thought I was looking at her, then rubbing my head saying I was cute one time. The girl has serious bipolar issues. Naruto nodded and started walking out when Gizmo threw him something. Here, a little thing I made just for your leisure activities. Naruto looked at it, and it was a device only about the size of a disc, and it had a dome. Gizmo grinned. It can store your chakra and then burst it into a light of energy, creating a light screen to blind your enemies. I was thinking of adding it, but I wanted your thoughts. Naruto stored it in and looked back, smiling. Thanks, I'll check it out sometime. He left and seen Jinx around the corner and grinned. Come on out, Jinx, your stalking is getting better, but I know you're there. She jumped out, sending her most concentrated bolt of hex magic at him, hitting him dead on, and he chuckled. You know that never works. In truth though, it did. His body would involuntarily start to overload, but thanks to his electrical control, he can undo any damage done to his nervous system and fix whatever is hexed. Not only that, but Kyubai's influence helped stop that magic dead. But it still hurt like a bitch when it was dead on with more power, like getting hit by a damn ice jutsu from Haku. Jinx sighed, pouting and crossing her arms. I wonder why, but whatever. So you coming to lunch today? Naruto hummed in thought, then nodded. Sure, got nothing better to do, but the second you and Stone decide to play tonsil hockey, I'm gone. Jinx looked incredulous before laughing. You think I like that rock for brains? You lost it. I'm only seeing if he has potential as a boyfriend. Even if he does make it, I'd never love him. She didn't say it, but added in her head. But you I would love if I ever found out why you are immune to my powers. Naruto put his mask back on and started to walk off. Yeah, well see you down there, I'll be catching up on my training. Jinx was intrigued, but decided not to follow him. Last time she did, she almost got herself blown to bits by flying arrow traps. Naruto knew how to not be followed. She groaned. Go ahead, see you at lunch, and if you are not there, I'll kick your ass from here to next week. He chuckled and nodded. Yes, and no worries. For my friends, I am always there. Jinx smiled and walked with him before splitting up down the hall and going separate ways. 2 weeks later. Gizmo grinned as he viewed the masterpiece he called a suit. Damn, this is the best thing I made. Too bad it's still got some things missing. Like what? Gizmo yelped and jumped from his seat and fell on his head. He looked up to see a grinning Naruto. Damn you shit stain, you scared me half to death. He got up, shrugging it off. Anyway, barf stain, what's missing is the internal power systems, because of obvious reasons. Without knowing how the X suit worked miraculously, I had to do revisions. Not only that, I had to figure out if you'd even fit inside the thing. Naruto nodded, seeing how that would be hard to do normally. So, when can I try it on? Gizmo grinned. Right now, give it a shot. You can wear anything under it as long as it's not bulky. Naruto nodded, going down to his ninja garb and sliding the suit on piece by piece, and when it was all on he flexed and stretched himself around. He grinned, saying something, but the mask gargled his voice in a metallic tone. Not bad. He chuckled a bit. Fits nice, isn't restrictive, light for speed, but I feel a little weight so I know I am protected. He dropped to his normal stance, then flexed his arms up, and noticed a rod coming out of each elbow. What are these? Gizmo chuckled. Those are a surprise, just you wait. He nodded and took the thing off. Damn, it's even air-conditioned too. I swear you are awesome, Giz. Gizmo chuckled, standing proud. Naruto let a finger slide along the mask. Tell me when it had done okay, Gizmo nodded. Oh, and can I have the X suit back? I thought of a way to test the power thing. Gizmo nodded and gave him the scroll, and they sat down. Giz sighed. I swear, shit keeps getting in the way. I don't mind the shit stain, headmaster, it's just what the hell am I supposed to do? I'm a techie and working on my tech is what I love to do. Not that I don't mind fighting, but how can I do anything besides build weapons and gear? Naruto chuckled. You know, instead of asking yourself what can I make gear-wise to kick ass, think of how you can make gear that will help you become strong enough to kick butt yourself. You and the gear are one. Your brain is your best weapon, use it. But muscle is never a bad thing. Giz smiled. Thanks, Crud Nugget. So, think I'll ever find a girl? Naruto chuckled. Don't ask me, I had 3 girls all broke my heart. Gizmo chuckled. True, but as you said, that was your world. Here it may be different. Just give it a chance, okay? Naruto nodded, giving Gizmo a small noogie. Gotcha, barf bag midget. Giz laughed, struggling. Cut it out. Naruto stopped and Gizmo nodded. Maybe Jinx would like you. She's been hanging around you more the stone, and that's saying something. Naruto shrugged. Yeah, well, she kinda looks like my worst ex, and I don't know if she is the same or not, so I am just trying to bide my time to see if she is better or worse. Gizmo nodded. As a friend in front of her, I will say she's worse, because of her rep. But behind her back, as long as you keep your mouth shut, I can say it. She is a good person really, but shit happened in her life and her powers are too chaotic for any good. It demolishes everything and hurts people. What good can she do? She tried and failed and now has her only goal, being a thief, not a villain like people think. Naruto nodded, smiling sadly. Yeah, but you never know, so I am going to wait for the opportune moment. Gizmo grinned. Well, I'll see if I can't power this suit. See ya, Scrunch Bucket. Naruto waved off and went down the hall, and when he entered his room he grabbed a stack of paper bombs and grinned. Time to give them some homemade goodbyes. He grabbed a scroll from his drawer. And some things you taught me to complement my study project. Hehehe. He disappeared and went through every vent that day, placing bombs from his and the ones he made from class, and he found interesting things, like in the gym were tripwires and snickered. Rigged games. He found something in the mess hall too, lasers, in case things went out of control. Well, guess this is a prone violence place, very susceptible. And lastly, the girls' locker room showers and a few girls' rooms, cameras. Pervert, but I guess I can't blame him, he is a guy, and has urges like everyone else, and a master of a school full still such a perv, I'd never do this. He giggled perversely. Though I would peep from time to time if I felt like it. He placed the last bombs and got back to bed, waiting for the next day, imagining when he shot them all off. Even if someone were to find his class bombs, his paper ones were hidden so well and no one knew their threat, so they would still be there. 2 days later. Naruto was chuckling evilly and rubbing his hands together. You are an evil genius. Gizmo grinned his arms over his chest proudly. You got it, Pit Sniffer. In front of Naruto was his suit, complete and ready to go. The exoskeleton was a black titanium cloth wrapped around plates of the super steel and dragon skin. The arms had the poles still, BTU he saw why now, a sword in each because they were sheaths and a sheath on the back. The mask looked way too awesome to be real. It was a fox mask, more fox-like than a mask should be, and a big blood-red X over the face and a part of it striking the eye. Gizmo turned, grabbing a piece of the whole armor. All right, let me explain. The black titanium cloth is over the whole thing, but just under it is the dragon skin. It's a good thickness to absorb even a nuclear force explosion, but still being light and thin. And inside the skin, but poking out so it doesn't ruin the stuff and gives the best protection, is the steel plates. I made them separate to give maximum movement, but not too far apart that the only way they hit you is with a lucky hit or know where the plates are. Naruto was drooling, meaning a puddle was forming, he was drooling so much. Gizmo continued. Alright, now the mask now, the thing is spray painted. But the thing is literally that steel, you're gonna be protected like hell. Under it is a good-sized layer of the skin. The systems, however, are everything you could dream for. It had a HUD, or heads-up display, meaning you can see everything including your suit's damage, your breathing air, and your cooling and heating systems. I put in something that with voice command will bring up different visions too. Here they are: X-ray, V-ray, ultraviolet, infrared, and scoped, meaning you can see farther if need be. Naruto giggled like a kid in a candy store, or how he was before, a dobe in a jutsu catalog. Come on Gizmo, Don T hold me in suspense, what else you got? Gizmo grinned wider. The suit is all you got, shithead. The defense is awesome, and you can do whatever the old X suit could too. Not only that, but the swords can automatically, by finger pressing the palm button hidden in the hand, but the back one you pull out your own. Not only that, but here, I thought you'd enjoy this. Gizmo handed Naruto one of the swords, and it was amazing. It was made of flexible but superb steel, not like the one he stole, but still decent, and it had a diamond hard and razor sharp edge. Damn. Hey, what's this? He saw a seal on the handle. Gizmo grinned so wide he looked like his head split in two. I borrowed a scroll you learned a seal to let you put chakra in that blade. I actually did it to all the blades and even put a seal inside the full tang blade. I think it was called Hira-ishen, whatever that is. Naruto just stared at his friend. For me? Damn well thanks, you're the best Gizmo, and it's pronounced Hiration, or in your language, since I learned it thanks to my knowledge, Flying Thunder God Jutsu. Thanks, I will never lose the blades now. Gizmo bowed and Naruto clapped. And Naruto sealed the suit and got in costume as Gizmo, and he went off to see what Blood wanted. They seen Stone, Jinx, and Mammoth on a hexagon and stood beside them. What's up? How's the weather up here? Stone laughed. Haha, very funny. Blood wants us to take on some intruders. They were risen up and into the final exam arena, and then the Teen Titans came through the door ahead. Naruto grinned when seeing Cyborg in the group. Nice, having a duplicate you in case people thought you quit. Blood had them start and Stone lead them. Attack pattern alpha, Naruto sighed, jumping in and knowing if he didn't fight he was going to have a hard time getting his moment. Who said he had to fight the Titans? He slammed a fist against Mammoth and threw him to the Titans as the fake Cyborg came in, knocking both down hard before blocking a strike from Robin, who went for an aerial attack with his metal staff. Robin growled. You stole the suit. Naruto chuckled and threw the kid at Gizmo in the air and knocked him down too. Beast Boy changed into a big ape and threw a punch, but Naruto caught the arm and kicking the boy in the stomach forced him into the air and dropped him hard against the floor and then sliding him back against Stone. Jinx growled, slamming her feet against his defending arm. Whose side are you on? Naruto flipped her off his arms, holding her from behind. Mine, and I always have been. Jinx growled, hitting the floor with her hex bolts and making the ground shake, and Naruto let go. She sent more, coming after him as he dodged every bad luck thrown object and debris from the cracking floor. Naruto whistled. He never knew she was so good at fighting. She stopped and slipped past his arm reach and slammed her fist in his stomach, making him slide back, but he kept on his feet and rubbed his stomach. That wasn't nice. What did I do? Jinx growled more. You betrayed us, Naruto shrugged. What gave you that idea? I'm not betraying you, just Blood. The guy is seriously wacko. Jinx huffed and tried to kick him in the head, but he dodged. Hey now, I never wanted to leave on bad terms. Can't you give me a chance? I thought you liked me. Jinx threw her best bolts around him, making everything try to crush him to bits, but they just turned to dust and flew away. She stood still. Of course I liked you, but betraying us is something I don't like. What the hell made you betray our trust? Naruto clicked his tongue. Too bad. Let me give you reasons I betrayed Blood, not you. 1. I'm a thief, not a villain. I steal and take what I can and give nothing back. He is so not my style. 2nd, I stole what I wanted, and I still hope to be friends because you guys are great. And 3rd, the shithead Blood creeps me out, trying to put me under mind control. Jinx looked a little confused why it bothered him. Naruto scoffed. I know you're bad luck and he gets backlash, but not everyone has that advantage. I know of at least a dozen times people were manipulated fully, or a few people who are fully controlled to being his pets. I do not want that on me or you guys, so I will blow his shit up. While he and Jinx fought, the Titans got caught, Stone became Cyborg, and Cyborg turned to the Hive, then fired at Blood. Naruto put up a seal and pressed a button behind his back and with the explosive power Cyborg gave, his owns rocked the base and it was being completely destroyed. Naruto waved off. "See you three again, I still hope to be friends." He vanished again, a Hurricane kunai just outside, and he came to it. He put it away and sighed. "I do wish they made it out okay. Oh well, what now I know. Let's see if I can give the Titans a scare with their precious suit." He slid into the shadows and put it on before going to LexCorp, grinning under the mask. "Let's round us up a bird." So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Godospartan the Kitsune on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video, till then goodbye.